welcome to FinCap's Driving Ambition web series and podcast. I'm Rajan Datar. Over the next few weeks, I'll be touring the country in an all-electric black cab, visiting an array of leading UK PLC small and medium-sized enterprises, all selected from FinCap's Ambition Nation listed 50. I'll be speaking to CEOs and business leaders to find out what are the key factors that drove their success. What was that company's unique journey? Because this is Ambition Nation.
What motivated you to get into this?
I've been involved in the IFA world and IFA distribution all that length of time. My father was actually involved in financial services. He worked for the Pru, and I naturally fell into the industry and fell in love with it. And I love IFAs. They're just great people.
Yeah.
They're very, very genuine people who look after their clients in a stunning way. And they're easy to work with. So we've literally been an IFA support services business for the majority of my 30-odd years in the industry.
And tell me about the nuts and bolts of starting a company like this, a service like this.
It's so important that you're there to support the IFA. And an IFA's got many choices. They can either decide to actually run their own business completely and have their own compliance systems and services in place, or they can outsource it to somebody like ourselves, or they can join a network basically and become an appointed representative. And the networks are quite a good incubator. They're a good way for an IFA business to sort of come in and get involved in the industry. But ultimately, I think an IFA would want to have control of his own business and basically be authorised directly with the regulator.
What do you think that you and Tatton have offered to these IFAs that has set you apart, that has made you give them something better than say, rivals?
Yeah, I think it is pretty straightforward. It's just listening to them. So because we've worked so close with IFAs for so long, we understand what makes them tick. We understand what they want, but they're also very quick to tell us what they want. So, I think the biggest single reason that Tatton has been so successful is that the investment management piece has been designed for IFAs by themselves. We've partnered with them rather than just being another financial institution that's there. In today's world where the regulator and the IFA want to drive down the cost of investing, it's so important that the service comes at the right price. And they told us what that price had to be. Amazingly, they said, we need to be able to buy your services for and the platform services for 50 basis points. So if you're any higher, then that's not going to work. And of course, platforms were around about 35 basis points at the time. So a bit of simple maths, we had to come in at 15, and nobody, even to this day, is doing it at 15. So 7 years ago when we launched it, it was a very, very brave move to actually come forward and say, right, we will give the IFA exactly what they want, 15 basis points for the service. And of course, then we had to take on the risk of building the investment team, having all the costs, being in the square mile, and trying to be established from day one. And we'd worked out we needed £1 billion worth of assets. We needed £1 billion of FUM to break even. And we got that first £1 billion in 12 months, which was ahead of schedule and ahead of target.
But inevitably, there will be other rivals who will latch onto this, and probably are already, and saying, actually, we're going to do it that way too.
Yeah.
How do you then deal with that?
The big thing for us is not to rest on our laurels. We have to say, and we do continually, that we've set the price. Others will probably follow, and in time we need to react. So we've got a whole host of ideas and projects running of what we would do as and when. So we've got the vision of where we want to be with it, and we'll play that card when we're ready. But we're absolutely passionate about the space, and we want to remain as the leader in that space and keep moving forward.
Is it only about price?
No. Price is important, but so is performance. You've got to give consistent investment performance. That's what the IFA wants. It's just about nice, steady, consistent returns, not looking to shoot the lights out, just nice and steady. And we've done that over the last 6 years. We'll look to continue to do that.
Tell me then, Paul, with the IPO, how did that change things?
Gosh, well, that really did change things. I mean, the big reason for us wanting to IPO in the first place was to raise the profile of the company, in particular the Tatton investment management piece. So we wanted it to find it easier to engage with IFAs, for them to understand more about us. And of course, you get a much improved profile from being on the public market. If you look at the business prior to that, it's a smaller business, shareholdings owned by Mr. and Mrs. Hogarth in the main, and it doesn't look as good until you've got obviously the big financial institutions coming on board.
What do you think makes a good leader, be it in your business or any business, in terms of your experience? What makes a good leader?
I think a good leader has to have vision. I think vision's vitally important. You need to understand where you think this market's going, and that's a continual thing.
Yeah.
I think a good leader needs to have that gravitas to carry people with him. I think he needs to be straightforward, and I have an open door policy, so I've always ready to listen to anybody, and I think that is a vital point.
Yeah.
You can't just lead and not listen.